Hey everyone, I wanted to talk to you today about getting new consultants started. So I could make this really quick, but I'm going to save you guys all of that. And I basically want to give you some basic tips of things that I do whenever I have new consultants that join my team. And secondly, give you some resources where you can go for some additional information. So the first thing that happens, remember, when someone joins, is Cincy sends them an email confirmation. Attached in that email is the quick start guide. So that truly should be the first thing that the new consultant does. So as soon as I get a message or confirmation that someone has joined, I send them a text. I have found texting seems to be way more beneficial than using Facebook or email. So I send them a text and say, "Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Welcome to the team. The first thing I want you to do when you have a moment is to go through the quick start guide that was attached in the Cincy corporate email. Once you've completed that, let me know or I'll touch base with you here shortly." And I simply leave it at that. Secondly, after I've heard from them, or if I don't hear from them in a day, then I want to get back to them right away because we obviously want to get them off to the most successful, best start possible. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to send them a copy via text. I'm going to send them a link to the new consultant orientation training that I did not long ago. This is going to give them all the A to Z tips of being successful and getting them set up to go right out and start launching their business. So that's the second thing I do. If you're not sure or you don't have that link, if you go to the units section of our group and you go under new consultant, you will find the link to that video so that you can text that out to them. Okay. And if you've not watched it, well, clearly that would be a good idea for you to watch it so you know what you're sending them and know what information they're getting. Now, something I always tell them is as you're going through the quick start guide or you're going through this video, if you have any questions, please write them down so that I can assist you with that. One of the things that you want to be sure that you do is you have to help set them up for success. So getting the quick start guide done, watching the new consultant video, and then you want to be sure that you're setting up their launch date as quickly as possible. Whenever possible, encourage them to have an on-site home party type of launch party. I have found those to be the most successful. And I know this came up recently, and it's a really good point because we have team members all over the country and even globally now. So it does happen often that there are people who join your team that don't live close to you. And fortunately for us, with all of the new technology, that's not an issue. There's a couple of ways you can handle that. How I prefer to do it is I like to just basically do a sample training with them. Okay, so let's set up your table. Now, remember, I'm not there physically, but set up your table and then let's give a display. Let me give you a sample of how my party would go if I was doing the party and what that would look like and how I would run my party. So I do a run through with them. And then I ask them, would you like to do the run through with me and kind of share with me what your thoughts are, how you plan to do it? Post coaching is absolutely critical. Now, again, if you have not reviewed this information lately, I need you to do so because as a sponsor, you do have some responsibility to training these individuals. If you don't have the information, you're not going to be a lot of help to them and provide them the support that they deserve. So go to the workstation. Under business resources, go to new consultant. You will see there's documents there on how to create a launch party and how to set it up for the ultimate success. These are the things that they should be following and you should be working with them in to ensure that they have a successful launch party. Now, another way, and I know a lot of people are going to this nowadays, is they are actually setting up on Facebook, or I happen to use the platform called Zoom, and I know Skype, and there's lots of other technology, but they actually set up, for example, I would set up in my office here a table with a simple home party display. I could then go live, and the people in Connecticut or wherever they are, Idaho, can all be sitting on their couch waiting for me to come on in front of a computer, or better yet, a smart TV device, which they can then just put me up. And I do basically the home party presentation right here from my office in Missouri for the guests wherever they might be. So that's an option. Another option that I've seen people do is, for example, if that wasn't an option to go live for whatever reason, then I would still have my home party display set up here at my office. And then I would simply record myself doing the party, and I would send that link to my host to share. So all she then has to do is pass around the testers, and collect the orders. And I make myself available via phone should there be any concerns or anything come up and she needs any assistance. So that's a really great way to do it if they're not local to you. So after that, it's absolutely critical. Your goal should be to get them at least active within the first couple weeks. Ideally, you help them earn the shooting star kit. And then you want them to focus on the sensational start levels, 1, 2, or 3. Depending on how and why they joined Sensi will determine maybe what levels they want to achieve. If they want to do this as a business and make some money, then their goal should certainly be 3. And you need to help set them up with a plan of action on how to do that. If you're not sure what that means or what that might look like, then you need to be reaching up to your upline director so they can sit down and assist you with that. Another thing that I like to be sure that you do when you're communicating with your new team member is let them know that, yes, you may have a full-time job, you may have children, you have other obligations and commitments. So you might not be available to them 24/7, just like I might not be, or I'm not available to you or them for 24/7. Make sure they have consultant support's phone number saved in their phone. This is critical because in the consultant support is open until, like, for example, 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. So often, even if they can't get a hold of me, they can contact support. And it's important that you let them know that is a resource they need to utilize whenever is necessary. Another thing I want to be sure that both you and your new consultant are taking advantage of is the training center. In the training center, there is now a whole series of videos for those of you that are just now building your business and are sponsoring team members. And they will train you up on how to get your new consultant off to a great start. There's also a whole new series of videos for new consultants to watch, which are extremely helpful, from setting up the party link on their workstation to sharing the link out with their hosts that live out, or their guests that live out of the area, and so forth. So I think that's absolutely critical that you set them up and let them know the training center is their best friend and that they spend time there. Also, you will find in the units section of our group, there is a checklist for new consultants. Print that off so that you can work through that with them. There's also under sponsoring, there's a unit called sponsoring, and there is a new, it's new sponsor checklist. But even if you sponsored 4 people before, I still recommend that you print that off and use that as a guide. That will direct you and make sure that you've covered all the important basics with your new team member. So I hope this is helpful. I hope you will go out and keep building your team and keep growing. And I look forward to welcoming them in our group.